We live in a world today where the things that's manifested upon us is just so dangerous, and a lot of people them just don't really understand that. We live in a world today where some people them actually end up coming up with their own curriculums for us and indoctrinated programs where it is now we're supposed to swallow and establish that this is what's what. This is who we are. This is who they were. Everything is all in black and white, but yet it's not always in black and white because the white is always hiding what the black was subject to, what the black has done to actually end up being the greatest men and queens out here, the greatest kings and queens, the greatest women, the greatest men. We live in this falsified world where it is those that actually end up coming up with these things for everybody and the world that they don't even end up following. These people that comes up with these indoctrinated scriptures and manifesting things out of their thought process that they don't even actually end up following. They don't actually end up believing. And yet so many of y'all actually want to go ahead and believe and swallow these things, what it is they actually end up forcing upon you all. And then get so upset that the things and what it is that you're swallowing and you're actually becoming and doing, you're wondering and upset why it is that you are this way, why it is that you are that way, because you're choosing not to actually end up being a person that actually end up thinking outside of the box. Kings are battling with queens, queens are battling with kings. And the logic for that doesn't really have anything, but it's like, yo, so many people actually end up having this standard or that standard, but yet they don't even have standard for them for themselves, their true selves. I mean, this is one thing I'm going to actually end up saying. And you know, it's kind of crazy, and I gotta end up saying it. This is a perfect example for the people that I'm out here that's in the alphabet, right? These people out here know what it is that they want and know who their true self is. In most cases, I can't say how many of those people them are true to what it is who they are, or whatever the case is. But all I'm just saying is that how there's so many y'all out here that's living in a straight life, but y'all are living in a crooked mindset. Because y'all can't actually end up vowing to actually be who it is that you know you want to be, and who it is you're dying inside to be, who it is you should be, but you want to go ahead and become something else. You want to go ahead and be something else for somebody else in order to actually end up being noticed by other people. You want to go ahead and give your love and give your attention, give your obedience to somebody else like you're a good slave. So many dudes out here want to go ahead and do everything what it is they can for their woman, for their female, but yet they don't even actually end up taking into consideration the feelings and the thoughts of how they should actually end up feeling, how their woman should actually end up feeling about them as well too, how the relationship should actually end up being reciprocal, and vice versa goes for some females out here too. But I see a lot of females I'm out here becoming a lot of modern day city girls and stuff like that. So many of y'all out here just basically drowning and killing yourselves just to go ahead and be noticed or loved by someone, and giving them your everything, giving them your all, but yet that person's not even been able to give you not even a second of their love. For example, men could go ahead and get indulged and drown in a woman's vaginal fluids, vaginal love, but yet will not be able to actually end up seeing that how everything else, what it is she's doing and what she's not giving, is just totally dangerous to him. Totally something that could basically end up ending his life, because she could be giving that stuff to him and giving it to basically giving her loving to somebody else, but it really cannot even be called loving. It could be basically called what it actually is, a sex or a F. She could basically be giving that to somebody else and then yet coming back to that man and then spreading something else to him. or yet she could not even be given anything in the sexual orientation. She could basically be giving him something where it is she's manipulating him and playing off of him and doing the same thing to other individuals. Yet now at the same time where it is she put different men in different situations where it is now they're in danger of the of a fellow man because they don't even know about this other men or this man, because now at the same time these men or this man may actually end up being the one to actually end up ending their life or putting them in the ER, putting them on life support. There's a lot of things, a lot of people just don't really go ahead and see that every action has a reaction. The morals of all of our thought process and how we value things and who we value and what we morally value and what we need is basically shown upon us and how we actually end up projecting or presenting ourselves into this world. It's nothing wrong with looking good. It's nothing wrong with smelling nice. But if you go ahead and you choose to actually value the materialistic things more than you actually end up valuing your own life and valuing somebody else's life and somebody else's safety, including your own, then what good are you in today's world and society? If you're basically out here just in order to corrupt and not be able to heal, it's very dangerous. 2 things I learned in martial arts from doing it. It's good to know how to break bones, but it's better to know how to actually end up putting them back together after you break them. A lot of people out here that end up having dojos and gyms and stuff like that, they will show you how to go ahead and defend yourself and break this and that. But how many of these instructors and how many of these so-called sufus or gurus will be able to actually end up teaching you how to go ahead and put the bones back or the muscle tissue, what it is to heal yourself or stop the bleeding at a certain part, what it is you're stabbed or broken up into? How many of these people could actually end up doing that? We swallow the bullshit, what it is they give us in this indoctrinated whitewash program and stuff like that. And it's just so hard because everybody's all subject to just going ahead and say, yeah, this is it. This is what it is. This is life. This is who we choose. This is what we believe. But is it really? Or is it just how you just choose just to give up? You choose to give up on understanding the reality of things, but just choose to give up on really actually being part of the reality. So many of us out here looking at each other and pointing fingers and blaming this and that individual for our choices and our paths in this life. But has it really been this person basically doing us the whole long run? If you know how to read or write, you could go ahead and educate yourself from right from wrong. You could go ahead and learn the system and study the system where it is now. You could go be strong. You can be stronger than the people that actually end up forcing and oppressing you and oppressing those upon you and oppressing your great grandparents and all these other rest of individuals. But yet you choose to actually end up being in the one on these glamorized social media stuff in order to end up being a social media fame person. See, I don't go ahead and just make these videos and talk my stuff what it is I talk just in order to go ahead and try to be famous. I don't need fame. Fame is nothing to me. That stuff what's called fame doesn't really actually end up having anything valuable to me. For me, I'd rather be rich forever. I'd rather be wealthy forever. I'd rather be healthy forever. I'd rather end up having a proper mindset and where it is I'm healed. I'd rather end up being in a proper mental space where it is anything or anybody do to me won't ever get to me. Because I know not to go ahead and indulge myself or encourage myself into indulging into somebody's foolery. Where it is now, I don't give them a one-up over me. Just because you walk away from something or someone or a situation where it is you choose not to go ahead and be too corrupt in it, doesn't mean you've lost. Because in the same time, if you were to choose to actually end up indulging yourself in that, what have you really lost? Just really think about it. How many of us just actually end up been to jail or been locked up or have done something wrong in our lives? How much time in the world did it actually end up taking for us to actually realize that, 2 minutes out of our lives and either end up selling drugs, hurting somebody, killing, attempted murder, robbing, whatever the case is, 5 minutes, 10, 20 minutes, whatever the case is, 10 minutes, 8 minutes, it actually end up taking us now to realize that how we got a double-digit sentence. We got to do a bid.